When it comes to relationship, I wanted one thing only: to be happy. How do you find your white man? How do you stay consistent in the gym? How do you feel about splitting bills or expenses with tea? How long did it take for you guys to say I love you to each other? This is interesting. You're listening to The Journey, and I am your host, Kymmiee lately. Today, we're going to run through the mid-year reset. And to you listeners, this is going to be such an interesting conversation because it's just not going to be about me. I'm also going to put a spotlight and force you to look deeper into yourself. I know, it seems a bit much, but I'm going to just run you through, guys, my mid-year reset. Now, we're just getting into the second half of the year. As much as that's exciting for some, it might be terrifying for most of us, given that we came into the year with so many plans and goals, and 6 months have gone. Hey, have we accomplished those goals? And if we haven't accomplished those goals, what are the plans? What's the remedy around that? How do we go about, achieving those goals? So that's kind of what the first segment is going to be about. If there was a word I could use to describe the last 6 months in my take, it would be wholesome. The last 6 months came and went really, really quickly. But in terms of the goals that I set in the beginning of the year, I had 4 categories for the kind of goals I wanted for myself. I had personal goals, I had relationship goals, I had content creation, and then I had fitness. For starters, when we start with fitness, I had intended, this is the first one I'm starting with and I'm shooting myself. I had intended to eat healthy. Oh, well, I've been eating healthy, debatable, but eating well, absolutely. Another goal was to, cook more food at home. Probably gone 50-50. It kind of helps that my partner is a chef, so we do cook healthy when we decide to cook. Another bit in the fitness/wellness was working out. This one, I smashed it out of the park. It went as far as paying for a premium gym to actually go and work out. 2018, Kimmy would not believe this. There was a point in time where we decided to start investing into like a home gym, but I never felt the motivation, the personal drive to actually work from home. So as far as fitness goes, I did well. I'm very proud of myself, and I hope the next 6 months are going to be the exact same. Another thing, I think I'm a month into it. I've been incorporating walking outside. I used to run a lot, but I feel like I'm not as good as I was before. So I'm slowly building into that by doing like a 1 hour hot girl walk. If it's on brand, then you're going to do it more. So I do that every Tuesday evening for an hour. Put on a podcast and then I just go outside and walk. When it comes to relationship, I wanted one thing only: to be happy. That one has happened. I have been happy. I don't even think me and T argued. We argued one time, but I wasn't even like that mad, to a point that when we reconciled, he was like, I'm really proud of you. You got better at communicating. So the past 6 months have gone breezy as far as relationship wise go. But on the other side, I've also become a homebody. I don't make an effort to go out. There have been so many instances where T will ask me out on a date, like, hey, let's go out, dress up, look cute, have a dinner date night. And I'll be like, how about we just order in, snuggle on the couch and watch our favorite show? I always win, so. And if he ever learns to tell me no, I'm gonna cry. And then another bit when it comes to relationship was doing a lot of things together. So we still work out together. That's one of the reasons that has helped me to be more consistent at the gym, is working out with T. So he's been my person at the gym, assisting me with weights, showing me how to do some works. Sometimes I need to do a workout, but I'm too lazy and I need to see somebody work out with me so I'm more motivated. He's been that person. Let's maybe jump into content creation. This was interesting to review. One of the big goals that I set for myself, well, maybe not big goals. One of the most ambitious goals that I did set, I think, of all this was on the content creation side. So I closed the year with about 56 subscribers. Then I posted a content that went viral, and in a span of less than a month, I went from 56,000 to 102 subscribers. So that's more than like 50K followers in a span of 1 month. Okay, let me preface this. I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful or anything, but nothing did prepare me for that much of attention. Because usually I've had content go viral, but in more cases, it will go viral and add me a couple thousand followers. It reached a point where I gained 8,000 followers a day, meaning these people were not only seeing the content, they were liking the content and wanting to engage and expected more content. So I don't know, that one really freaked me out. That one took me off the rails. I got some form of anxiety and imposter syndrome, and I couldn't show up as wholly as I wanted in terms of being a content creator and whatnot. So I freaked out. So much anxiety. Any content I wanted to post, I was like, is this gonna be it? That's kind of what I kept battling with in my head. I don't know, I froze. I couldn't post anything. So I was like, you know what? Let me just step back. I'll post tomorrow. Tomorrow became a week became 2 weeks. And then I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna log out for like a day, which became a month. Then a month turned into 2. And I stopped sharing altogether. So I took an unexpected social media break. I needed to take time to myself to figure out what I really wanted to say and how I wanted to show up and how I was able to, I just needed to find my why and how I can maintain that regardless of whatever pressure that I was facing. I don't know. And most of this is personal. I was putting this pressure on myself. I am slowly coming back into social and I'm loving the creative process. So the same thing happened on TikTok. I was at 20K come the beginning of the year. Now I'm at around 43.2 or 3K. But at the end of the day, the main reason I started creating content was never for views. I needed to document my life, something that I can look back 10 years from now to see how far I've come. And another reason is I just love creating content. So those were the 2 reasons I started. But quickly I moved from that why and doing other things like creating things that seemed trendy at the time or whatever. But that's going to be rectified. We're on the last segment of this podcast, and I worry this might be the longest one I've ever made. So think of this as what would Kimmy do segment. I did put a poll asking you guys to ask me any questions that you want me to run through or share my input and whatnot. First question on the what would Kimmy do segment is, when do you come back to YouTube? Since I already mentioned that I took a social media break, I'll be back on the 2nd of July. But for all the listeners out there, you don't even have to front. I'm already back on YouTube as you hear this. So jump on there, Kymmiee lately, and binge watch. Another one was my top 10 perfumes. I'll just give you like randomly. I do love the Libre by YSL. I have C by Giorgio Armani. I also have Scandal by Jean Paul, but my favorite one is the Vanilla Antique. This is a perfume extract by Byredo. Freaking, I love them. It is also the most priciest of all my perfume collection. But if you're looking for a budget option, I think I would suggest the Zara Red Temptation. This is probably a dupe of a dupe for the Baccarat Rouge 540. Where did you get your haircut? So I'm currently in Tanzania. I'll keep the details of where I did my haircut plus the hair color details. Another question asks, what's your profession? I'm a digital marketer by profession. I have an undergrad marketing and then I have a postgrad MBA. Another one asked, do you have friends or do you just hang out with each other? I think they mean my partner. Of course, I have friends. We don't hang out with my friends as often as I would like to. It's the timing, career, and adulting. How do you stay consistent in the gym? You are body goals. First of all, thank you so much. I don't think I'm body goals. I'm more like body in progress. I still have a vision of where I want to take my body. So as far as consistent in the gym, I have that in the back of my mind. How do you find your white man? This we're just gonna like skip through. I think this is a topic that needs its own thing. More on the angle of where to find actual dateable men, or maybe just like dating in general. I might have Theron and me, and then we do a podcast on dating. Another question. Your hair shade color. Closest shade of my hair color that I can describe is an urban blonde. Do you have any diet plans you stick to? I don't have any diet per se, but what I try and do mostly is take in a lot of protein. And I also watch the starch intake into my body. Well, Kimmy, just give me or us some relationship advice. So again, this might be just a separate segment in the coming episodes. I'll try and restructure it into like a broader conversational topic about relationships, maybe do's and don'ts if it's dating. That's gonna come in the near episodes. How long did it take for you guys to say I love you to each other? This is interesting because it didn't take long. It took us 9 days. So I met Theron on the 10th of August 2020, and then he told me he loved me 20th. But truthfully, I had already fallen in love with him, I think, by date number 1. It was refreshing to find somebody loving me at my pace. I know that might seem as a red flag, but we're doing fine, guys. We just gravitated towards each other. I don't know. When you know, you know. Your Reno vlogs are so inspiring. Please do more of those. For those that don't know, I'm a self-proclaimed interior designer, and I do a lot of this. So if you're curious to see some of the bits and bobs that I've done, do check me out at Lately Interior. I'll also link it up in the show notes for you guys to check it out. I've done a lot of DIY and renovation on a budget. So there's something for every price point out there. What do you admire the most about yourself? I think my eyes. I really love my eyes and my smile. I have a very full smile. I didn't know it was a full smile. I just used to like how I smiled because I smiled a lot in pictures, which is very unique because most people can smile with all their teeth showing. Majority is always like the top teeth showing out. I will show you everything. The molars, premolars, canines. How do you feel about splitting bills or expenses with T? So I think this needs to be a separate conversation. I've been intrigued about this, especially with my relationship in particular, given that there's a lot of culture difference between me and T. I'm Tanzanian, T is American. So anyways, this has been such a profound episode. I had an amazing time. Let's just maybe take a breather and then I'll come back and close this episode. We have made it to the end of the segment. If you came this far, you are the real deal. And thank you so much for following along. Again, I just want to emphasize the purpose of this podcast is to create a community of like-minded individuals. So feel free to engage and share your comments, concerns, reach out on my socials, and let's kick at Kymmiee Lately. That is KYMMIELATELY. Kymmiee Lately. And that's it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I will talk to you guys on the next episode. All right. Bye.